Ladies and gentlemen, allow me break this down in a way that actually feels real. I'm not being like some white paper talk. No. For the longest time in crypto, I think liquidity was a game of hype. I think it was not value, not structure, not even sustainability, but just hype. Let me know what you think. So people would just wake up, jump into Telegram groups, see a token trending, and buy it. And hope that somebody else buys it after them. And that's what we used to call liquidity. People bringing in money, buying next after you. Then they pump the price, then you sell and dip into a little bit, make some little profits and call it a day. But I think as crypto has continued to grow, the reality has come. And the reality was that was just people chasing each other. It was just people chasing each other's money. You invest, then you express somebody else buys, then you chase their money, then you. Now, here is the uncomfortable truth. That kind of liquidity is fake. Because the moment attention disappears, the liquidity disappears with it. And many of us, including me, we've lived through all that. For example, me in particular, from one coin to platinum coin to random altcoins that promise the world. I remember I've ever invested in a crypto called, what was the name? I've invested in like 3 cryptocurrencies and now they are normal. You can't trace them. So it was that world where money goes in fast, but when it's time to exit, there's nothing. There are no buyers, there is no structure, there is no system, but just silence. Now, this is where things start to change. And this is where TroptionsUnity, TroptionsUnity comes in with a complete different mindset. You guys, I'm talking about TroptionsUnity every single day on this podcast. It's because it is the project that I'm deeply into. It is actually the project that I'm holding on to. TroptionsUnity comes in with a completely different mindset. It doesn't have a mindset like let's create a token, but let's build structured liquidity. So what does that even mean? Let me make it very simple. Imagine that you own land in your village. That land has value, right? But can you sell it instantly? No, you cannot. You have to wait for a few weeks or a month to find a suitable buyer. After a very big hassle. Because you need a buyer, you need paperwork, you need time. So even though you are rich on paper, you're actually illiquid. You're so illiquid You have no liquidity. Now imagine you turn that land into digital tokens. So instead of waiting for one big buyer, you can sell small pieces to many people. Yes, you can sell small pieces to many people. Which means, okay, let me think. Which means that you can actually own small piece of, you can own shares of a small piece of land in every country of your choice. You can own land in Indonesia. You can own shares of land in America, in Florida. You can own shares of land in Mexico. I'm talking about tokens that represent a share of land. Okay? Because it means that we shall have thousands and hundreds of people who have land in various countries offered as tokenized assets. So you find they have, let's say that each share is equivalent to $1. So you will find that if land is worth $1 million, they have 1 million tokens worth that dollar, and every dollar you buy, you spend, you're having worth dollars in that land. Yes. So now suddenly it means that more people can invest. You can access your money faster. The asset is also now becoming easier to trade. Since there are hundreds or thousands of people holding the same, it's more likely that if you want to sell your own portion of the asset, there are so many people willing to buy. There's already available market holding the same, wanting to expand their digital plots of land. That is tokenization. That is tokenization for you. But now, TroptionsUnity is not stopping here. It is not stopping here because tokenization alone is not enough. We have already seen projects that tokenize things before and still fail. We've actually, previously, by the way, before even world tokenization come on board, we had Web3 ownership of property. We had people saying that you can actually, instead of own physical land, own digital land. You can buy land in space. You can, it was like you can buy virtual land, I think. Yes. No, that was not tokenization. No. That was Web3 ownership of property. There was nothing like tokenization. I think it was like you can own digital land. It is not there. Basically here, there is nothing like tokenization because you're not tokenizing anything. It is buying a concept of owning land. Just like, okay. But it seems with tokenization, it is now bringing in a concept of buying physical land, and actually that land stays there. No one can ever sell it, since it is now being owned and tokenized by thousands of people across the world. Bank cannot take it. They cannot build on it unless if you guys all vote and accept. Have a board meeting, a virtual board meeting, and vote on what decision should actually happen on your land. Of course, so many people. Of course, the original landholder can decide to tokenize half of the land or shares, and he is still owning 50% shares or so ever, and maybe he owns more rights, terms and conditions apply. But I think it's going to be amazing. It's really going to be so amazing. So what is actually TroptionsUnity doing differently? Because they are connecting three things that crypto has struggled to connect for years. One, we have real world assets. We then have digital tokens. We also have financial systems that support liquidity. And I feel like breaking these all three so that you can understand it better. Let me break it down for you. We have real world assets. That's one. So TroptionsUnity is not just creating tokens out of thin air, but they are focusing on real economic value. Now we have things like trade finance, we have industrial assets, we have business-backed value flows. This is important because liquidity must come from somewhere real. If there's no real activity behind a token, then the only source of liquidity is other people's money, which is what TroptionsUnity is fighting. Liquidity should just happen naturally. It should be there. It should be physical. We want physical liquidity, not other people's money. There's a phrase that we've always used at TroptionsUnity that, okay, let me leave that. So if there's no physical liquidity, that's where speculation begins again, which we are 100% trying to kill. When you look at the tokenization layer, now once these real world assets exist, TroptionsUnity uses blockchain to represent them digitally. It uses blockchain to represent them digitally. This is where things become extremely powerful, because now ownership can be fractional. Transfers can be extremely faster. You will see that the access becomes global. So somebody here in Uganda, someone in Dubai, someone in Europe, and another person in Asia, in Indonesia, in Asia, in China, in Philippines, they can all participate in the same economic system. This is one web. Yes, the world is becoming a one web. What happens there happens here. We all have the same shares, same benefits. Now, look at the structured utility section here. Now, this is the most important part, and most people miss it. TroptionsUnity is not relying on random market buyers to create liquidity. It is not relying on random market buyers to create liquidity, but instead they are designing systems that naturally generate liquidity. TroptionsUnity is naturally designing to rely naturally on systems that generate liquidity. Let me explain this like we are sitting together here. I want you to imagine a small business that imports goods. Imagine that. A small business that imports goods. They need money to buy stock, right? But normally, they go to the bank and the process is slow. It is expensive and sometimes it's impossible. It's like they want to take them off business. Now, I also want you to imagine TroptionsUnity stepping in through tokenization. Various investors provide you with capital. The business uses that capital to trade. Then profits are generated from real activity and then shared. So you're tokenizing your business. TroptionsUnity is not only going to tokenize physical assets, but it is also going to tokenize businesses. You have a business worth something, you can tokenize it, then leave the capital to sit and use what people have contributed, build a bigger empire, and then share profits. How good is that? Internationally, we are talking about having thousands of people getting in to your idea internationally and legal. We are not talking about fake decentralized systems. Legal. They can prove they have shares in your company. They can prove they bought shares in your company. And even courts of law can stand with them to sue you or make you pay if anything goes wrong. So money flows in, goods move, profits return, liquidity is created. That's what we call structured liquidity. It is predictable, it is backed up by activity, it has a direction. You've been banned before, like me, right? Let's be honest here. Most of us didn't lose money in crypto because we didn't understand technology. We lost money because we trusted systems with no structure. Projects that we invested in, they were tokens that had no real backing. They were tokens whose liquidity depended on new investors. They were projects that had no economic engine underneath. And TroptionsUnity is actually trying to solve all this. Yes, Unity is trying to solve all this. Moving from speculation to systems. In the old crypto world, you would buy, you would wait, you would hope to dump. But now, in this new crypto model of tokenization, you invest, value is created, liquidity flows. These are lifetime investments. It's like buying shares in big company. We've seen people buying shares in big companies and just 3% shares, and the entire generation, no wealth is created. So imagine if you invested in a 4,000 hectare of land in the US and something is developed on that land and you are part of that. That's what I'm talking about. This is a completely different mindset. Imagine a taxi driver We call him old crypto model. You give him money and hope he finds passengers. You give in, then you sit, then you wait for him to find other passengers to put on board and then move. Can you imagine? But now in this new, there are guaranteed routes, there are consistent passengers, there is a flow of income. So now your money is not just sitting, but it is working inside a system. That is exactly what TroptionsUnity is trying to build. You've seen various strategic partnerships happening with Troptions. Now here is another key thing that I want to talk to you about. TroptionsUnity is not trying to build this alone, no, but they are aligning with financial institutions and trade financial structures to build this. This is important because liquidity at scale needs regulation, it needs institutional trust, it needs real financial pipelines. This is not something small. This is something that has not existed before. So you cannot build structured liquidity in isolation. You need bridges between. You need traditional finance, you need blockchain systems, you need real-world businesses to be in place. What does this mean to you as a listener? Now, let's bring this home, because this is not just theory, but this is about how you think going forward. So, if you are approaching crypto like this, what coin will pump next when you're still in the old world? Then you are doing it wrong. But if you start asking, where is the value coming from? What system is generating liquidity? Is there real economic activity that is behind this? Then you are stepping into the future. I'll be honest with you. If somebody told me years ago that crypto would move in this direction, I wouldn't have believed it. Because back then, everything was noise, everything was hype, everything was fast money. I get into this. Then when they hit 10,000 investors in, then I jump out because the value would be this and that. But now, we are seeing something that is really different. We are seeing a shift. We are seeing a transition. We are seeing ourselves move from chaos to structure. And TroptionsUnity is positioning itself right in the middle of that transition. That's the most amazing fact. So take it like this, that structured liquidity is not about getting rich overnight, but it's about building systems where value can enter, it can move, it can grow, and you can also easily exit without collapsing. That's the difference. And if this model works at scale, then we are not just talking about crypto anymore, but we are talking about a new financial infrastructure. So the next time you hear the word tokenization, don't just think about digital tokens, but think about what is being tokenized, how liquidity is going to be created here, and whether there is a real system behind it. Because at the end of the day, liquidity is not magic, it is engineered. And TroptionsUnity is trying to engineer it. The biggest question will be, how many Unity tokens are you holding? Are you holding 1,000? Are you holding 500? Are you holding 10,000, 5,000, 100,000, a million Unity tokens? Because with tokens, Unity tokens will be the key, is the key into tokenization at Quantum Exchange, and at Troptions ecosystem at large. Now, sit with that for a moment, because that is where the real opportunity is. Daniel Harry is my name. You are listening to the CryptoInvestar Podcast from wherever you're listening from Apple Podcast, Spotify, Listen Notes, Zeno FM, or at my very podcast at www.cryptoinvestorwithana.com. Thank you so much. Stay locked in. Share this episode with friends if you think they would benefit. Bye for now, and let me see you in the next episodes.